All right, good morning, guys. Back at it with another MLB DFS video. Because of Easter yesterday, we were both a little busy, so that's why we didn't post anything. We did play yesterday's slate. If you follow us on Twitter, we posted a lineup, and if you did not tail, you're welcome. You want to recap it, Funk?
Yeah, so we were fiddling within the last couple of minutes before lock. We're like, do we play Tampa with all the ownership, or do we just fade and hope they score three? We had Lowe, we had Paredes, and we ended up switching to some back end order of Milwaukee, and it was just a terrible decision. They got outscored by like 60. Tampa nuked again. If they keep nuking every slate, we're gonna be broke because they're not that good. I swear they're not that
Right.
good. If they sweep the Red Sox coming up, I'm gonna be living off ramen forever.
Yeah.
Rasmussen got there again at 10-5, which is absurd. I mean, he was playing the A's, but I wasn't gonna play him at 25% ownership. Milwaukee looked good. That was our primary stack. They looked okay. Damas and Yelich got there. Judge hit two out at like 30% ownership. I don't know where everyone got the cash to afford Judge yesterday, but somehow they did. And then Hunter Brown went off. He finally showed us what we were expecting in that first start. So it was interesting. Hopefully today is a little better.
Yeah, I mean, I have the MLB home run thing popped up for Twitter notifications, and as soon as I saw Brandon Lowe grand slam, I was like, "Fuck, man!" I was like, "No way!" Of course, that's what happens when you swap off of people. Um, Interesting slate today. Nothing really too bad or anything. You ready to jump into this?
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting spots. I think there's some good pitching arms today. They're just kind of in some not bad spots, but not great spots, and that's why the ownership is pretty spread out here. Do you want to start? Or do you want me to go ahead and dive in?
I'll start with stacks, kind of
Okay.
just what we were talking about earlier. So our top five stacks today are going to be St. Louis, Milwaukee, the Angels, Mariners, and the Braves. So Stochastic has Colorado and Washington in between, and I don't really disagree with that, but the data is showing Atlanta is like the eighth best and playing against Cincy. I mean, Ashcraft, I remember him being pretty good, so I kind of get it, but it's just a little weird to me. And I think we both agree that Atlanta should be up a little bit more. But what do you think about the stacks? Which ones are you prioritizing more? What do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with you on the Braves. Ashcraft is serviceable, but I think at the ownership you're getting the Braves at, it might be good to take some shots on them coming in at 5% ownership as a stack for the whole. Seattle looks a little appealing. I don't like the ownership that's going there, but Smiley is horrendous, so I get it. Um, Milwaukee is not pulling barely any ownership, and they have a 5.6 run total from Vegas, 5.1 ballpark pal. And Gallon, he's fine, but I think I like Milwaukee more than the field here. And then obviously the Cardinals are going to be mega, mega chalk against Marquez. And Marquez actually looked pretty good in that first start, so I'm a little hesitant more than everyone else, I think. But the Cardinals can definitely mash the ball. So
Yeah, no, I agree with you with all that. I mean, I kind of see what you mean about being a little hesitant towards a St. Louis stack, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like when you play at cores, you kind of have to take advantage of that. But you ready to do pitchers?
yeah,
All right, so what we're going with pitchers today, number one is going to be Castillo. Number two, Scherzer. So Scherzer is $400 cheaper than Castillo. So that's kind of I guess you can call it a pivot, but we all know Scherzer is like insane. Um, who are we saying for number three? Do we really even think about like a third option? I don't really think so.
I think that's where it kind of gets sticky in terms of like your construction. So Webb and Darvish are kind of priced in no man's land in that mid 9Ks range. And then you have some ownership going to 7,800 Heaney and Elder. And I don't really know much about Elder. I know Heaney has some good strikeout stuff, but and he's like $1,000 cheaper than he was last week, so that might be interesting. But I'm not going to play him if he's going to be 20% owned. I'm just going to play Max Scherzer, I guess.
Right. I mean, two pretty cheap guys I would go with is Heaney and Elder. So Elder's first start this season, he dropped 46 fantasy points. Kind of got a decent matchup against Cincy. What's his ownership? 12, yeah, 12%. Heaney playing against Kansas City, sure, but he's projected for 20%. If I had to choose between the two, I'd probably go with Elder, but nothing wrong with going with Heaney, I guess. But I can almost bet that you and me will not be playing either or.
Right. It's
Um,
just with the talent on the slate, I probably just end up paying up for pitcher. But I do want to compare the prices to DraftKings real quick. I'm going to get that pulled up. But I want to, Urias is 10.9, which is actually absurd.
then again, Rasmussen is pretty high up, and he still finds a way to shit on the whole slate.
Yeah, on DraftKings, Scherzer's a whole $1,000 expensive more than the next closest pitcher, which is Castillo at 9.6. So I think you're getting a good discount on Scherzer on FanDuel. You're probably paying a little too much for Urias on FanDuel. Heaney's probably a bit appropriate, and where's Elder at? You're probably paying a little too much for Elder.
Interesting. Yeah, Scherzer's projected for 18%, Castillo 11. Those are our top two. Kind of you, if you don't like Castillo, go with Scherzer. If you don't like Scherzer, go with Castillo. If you're if you don't like either one today for whatever reason, I guess kind of go with either Heaney or Elder. I just don't like the matchups for Webb or Darvish. That's also kind of why we
Yeah,
don't
I
like them.
agree.
But all right, that was our pitchers talk because there's really only like two to talk about and then two to like possibly consider. Um, any bats that stand out to you?
So if you pull up the runs created on Ballpark Pal, St. Louis is obviously going to pop. O'Neill, who I'm sure is getting a ton of ownership. Brendan Donovan, Arenado, Contreras, Goldschmidt, the typical Cardinals bats are going to pop in that stack. Milwaukee's popping a little bit. Garrett Mitchell, uh, Yelich, Weimer, Rousseau. Like you can get to them a little bit. Those are that was probably our second stack. Then the Angels, I gotta find where they're popping at. Yeah, they're popping a little bit, but not as much as I would like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Angels are facing Patrick Corbin. That's enough said. I mean,
Right.
if you make them your first priority stack, I guess you'll be a little different, but facing against Patrick Corbin, nothing you should really worry about.
And then
Um,
The Braves look pretty good here, like we said, at low ownership. Let's see who's popping with numbers. Olson, Azuna, Albies, Acuna, Sean Murphy. That like 2 through 5 looks pretty good.
yeah, I just remember loading up the stacks tool and I'm looking around. I'm like, Atlanta's that low? I mean, obviously you got St. Louis, Milwaukee, and the Angels, good matchups and all that, but all those bats from Atlanta can get you a little difference unless you want to say screw it and do a full stack of them. Might be a little risky, but Definitely nothing wrong with that. All right.
Yeah. The other thing is like Cardinals bats are priced up on FanDuel accordingly because they're playing in cores. So you really have to have them hit. Like pretty sure Brendan Donovan's like 3,700, which is like the same as some of the best outfielders on the site. So if you want
Yeah.
the Cardinals, you just got to realize you're paying up for them to go for like 8 or 9 runs.
Yeah. Goldie, you know what? I want to find some of the actual prices. Goldie at 42, Arenado at 4,000 flats, Nolan Gorman 37. Yeah. So
Yeah,
basically,
Gorman at 37 seems steep. Jordan Walker 33, he was like 2.6 the other day. Burleson the same thing. I will say Contreras looks pretty cheap just because how bad he's been. 3,100 and O'Neill at 3,100. That's why they're probably going to get the most ownership, especially O'Neill in the outfield at 3,100. He can be pretty powerful, but he's been atrocious so far. So we'll see.
yeah, basically, if you're doing any sort of stack or you have any bets for St. Louis, you better hope that they get 3 home runs with these prices. It's unbelievable. But all right, my favorite part of this. You ready to talk home runs?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll let you start it off.
All right. So I got 3 guys that stand out for me today. One of them I kind of just made fun of, but 3,700 Brandon Donovan.
Yeah.
I think he's going yard. Um, I like Yelich again. I think he goes back to back here, and then Chris Bryant.
All right, so I've called Trout the last 2 times that we've recorded, so I'm definitely gonna go with Trout again. Gonna go with Arenado again, just based on game environment, and then kind of I don't really want to say long shot, but somewhat a little different is Cal Rayleigh, the catcher for the Mariners. Drew Smiley, cool, but yeah, those are my 3. Um, all right, do we got anything else?
I think that should about do it. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Just make sure to like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys following along.